Goldnbronze. This is a lifestyle and an entertainment podcast that offers an authentic, behind the scenes look into the everyday journey of myself, Goldnbronze. The show is designed to entertain, inspire, and connect through fun, eclectic, and thoughtfully curated content rooted in real life experiences. Each episode reflects my interests, creativity, and approach to living while remaining aligned with my family centered values and evolving lifestyle. Today, we have an artist, TV producer, music producer, performer, and proud introvert like myself. We have with us Jacques Johnson, who has been dubbed a natural artist. He loves to produce, write, and perform. He is not only an eye catcher, but entire families are feeling his music. He has been a performer since his days with the prestigious Atlanta Boy Choir, but found hip hop to be his primary passion. His vibe is smooth yet popular. He is somewhat of a prodigy because whatever he puts his mind to, he will definitely accomplish it. Because of his cool persona and feel good lyrics, this guy is one of the first indie artists to get an endorsement deal. Y'all excuse my daughter's dog. His latest project is called The Rapper Life. He leaves everyone curious, and the media is already wanting interviews to try and see what he is all about. And I'm lucky. He will be the first to tell you that he does not rap about being from the streets or trying to portray himself as something that he's really not. He's a man who writes about his own world, loving life, growth, love, and focuses on things everyone can relate to, especially good music. Jacques Johnson is a member of the historic Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated, where he follows in his father's footsteps to help exemplify brotherhood, scholarship, and service to others. He has opened for artists like T.I., Jeezy, DMX, Tech Nine, Migos, MGK, and he has definite crossover appeal. Jacques Johnson is a record label's and publicist's dream because of his quiet demeanor and easygoing style. But when he enters the studio or the stage, he showcases an alter ego. Unlike most artists, he writes all of his songs and has a great ear for music. He is already being sought after to write for some very popular artists. He had a very popular iTunes download, which introduced him to the South. He has written songs for TV shows and celebrities. His song, Why Stop Now, a song he did for boxer Jonathan Banks, was on ESPN, and he has written an opening song for a new Netflix series called The Celebrity Mamas Check-In. I think I've seen that, which he is also an executive producer. His single Quality Time went viral during the pandemic and caused a stir in Asia. He now has partnership deals with Resident Media and Film and Dysfunction Wines, as well as a brand affiliation with Stay Shady Eyewear for Jacques Johnson's Love Collection. I've seen them too. Everyone, let's welcome Jacques Johnson to At Home with Goldnbronze. And we really do appreciate your being here today. Trust me. So I really appreciate you taking the time to be here with me. I really do.
Thank you.
So what I'm going to, go ahead. We have a little lag. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're fine. I was just saying thank you for having me.
Okay, good. I'm going to play your video. So I'm going to take us back down again so we're not in the background for that. But I want to share the video that's called Blank Out.
Yep.
And then you can tell us what inspired you to write that video. Okay, one moment.
Few things in life are easy, but you may find that some things come to you or happen naturally. My music is a gift. I must protect it, but I can't be selfish and not share it fully openly. I've put in the work to figure it out for myself, so now I'm curious how the world chooses to answer the question, who is Jacques Johnson? Still a long road ahead. Yo, this is Jacques Johnson out of Atlanta, Georgia, and you're listening to my single Blank Out. Go crazy.
You don't wanna be running these plays with King Kong. I'm a force, not many with a pose. I can't tell you where to find my fist, but I'll give you a hint right under your nose. I was in the backseat line for line singing Miss New Booty. I was 10 years old. Told y'all day one, it was my world, and you ain't by you, and you sold.
What we on the super greens, your thoughts lay. I'm on TV in my city like I'm running for mayor. If you with it and run with it, a hater. I'm finna blank out in this business. Hey, 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 blanking, blank.
So, Jocks. Up. There you up. All right, all right. So tell us, what exactly is Blank Out about?
So it's really just about like having a good time, kind of just letting go. Um, and more so directed towards the women. Just like having a good time whenever they're out, getting played in different venues and clubs and things of that nature.
Okay, so like just get down and blank out
Yeah,
and have a good
yeah,
time, right?
yeah.
Okay. So I'm gonna get a little personal here. I want to ask you: are you from Atlanta? Because I am aware of that choir, the Atlanta Boy Choir that you were
Mhm.
in. Is that where you originate from?
Yeah, so I wouldn't say like I've grown up around Atlanta. I wouldn't say like I'm from Atlanta, but
Mhm.
yeah, I joined the Atlanta Boy Choir. My dad is Atlanta Boy Choir alumni. He still like travels the world with them.
Oh,
So yeah, he got me started with that really young, and my dad just always like kept me around good music, and kind of just kept going from there. Whether it was singing, turning into writing, or playing instruments, and then not wanting to use my actual sheet music and just play it to like other songs that I just liked on the
mhm.
radio and stuff like that. Kind of just grew into me writing music.
So, what age did you start writing music?
Started writing about 13, 14. It was my first time like going to a studio writing a song, and then it was like really pushed over the edge because my ninth grade lit teacher made me join the
Hmm.
poetry club because she heard that I was writing music. And then once I like really like sat down and like was very intentional with every word moving forward, like I just fell in love with it.
So you write lyrics and the music.
I produce a little bit, but I really have like a team of like really good friends also that make music. They produce. So I dabble here and there, and I'm able to do enough to like help and kind of steer and tell them what I'm looking for, or like make a little edit and things like that. But I've really like put in my 10,000 hours into being an artist. So writing, recording, performing, those are like my havens right now.
Okay. So at what age did you um, realize that you were into hip hop? I mean, hip hop's been around for decades because I
Mhm.
remember liking it too from way back when I was young. So what
I
age
don't
were you?
I don't want to be wrong because I don't remember the year it came out, but I believe
Hmm.
my mother said when I was in her stomach, the first thing to like really get me kicking was
Wow.
the song. I think it was like "Take Your Shirt Off, Swing It Like a Helicopter." I think that was the song she said. It like really just got me started kicking. That was like the first time I started like kicking really hard. Like whenever my dad would play music, I just loved it. So I would say starting from then.
From birth, huh?
Yeah.
In the womb. That's
Mhm.
awesome, awesome. So as you can see on the trailer, I have how people can tap into your WIJJ series, your
Mhm.
Instagram, and all of that. Tell us what the WJJI series is again.
Yeah, so WIJJ is Who is Jacques Johnson, and is a television series that we had launched through Peachtree TV. Did really well. Broke a lot of rating records for them. And you can also stream it now on a platform called Peach Stars. You go and sign up for that, and it's one time fee, and you have all of that and a bunch of other content at your hands forever. So,
Yeah. So I went on there and looked. So is the actuality TV Peach Stars, is that your brand, or is that um, a TV
yeah,
platform that you just have a show on?
we're currently owning Peach Stars. We working with other people that are wanting to come in, and whether it's placing content, anyone can like offer and send over anything that they have, any ideas, anything they're working on, anything they want to have placed. You can send that over to us, and we'll go over those things as well. So just trying to make sure we're making other opportunities for other people as well, while owning our own stuff and making our platform go.
How do people submit their stuff to you if they're interested?
So there should be a submission link for Peach Stars itself, but if not, you can always go through Resident Media or Y Stop Music Group.
Okay. So from what I've researched, you've worn a lot of hats. Um, TV producer, music director, if I'm not mistaken. Which role feels the most like you, and why?
I would say I would say it feels most like me would be the artist realm of things, but that term in itself is very blanketed. I think any space where I'm able to create, I
Very
feel like
broad,
myself.
you mean?
So
Yeah. So there's no one particular lane that you feel more comfortable in.
um
Do you remember the
I feel
moment
really
that?
comfortable on
Oh,
stage. I'll say that. I feel really comfortable on stage.
yes. Okay. Well, when people hear your name, what do you hope they understand about your journey before they even press the play button?
It's never really overnight. Like no one's just pressing a button to put me in front of them. Um, it took a lot of hard work, a lot of late nights. We would my parents believing in me. They would take me to different states to do performances, to open up for really big artists, and then having to take me back home to school the next morning. So it's just been a lot of time, a lot
Wow.
of no's that you have to work through, and just kind of figuring stuff out as we go. So I would say it's just never an overnight thing.
So you were kind of like the child actor, kind of, not
Yeah.
specifically an
Yeah,
actor,
we
but
had a little
like I,
circuit of child
also,
artists that we were working with and doing a lot of shows with during that time.
yeah. Did you have to have like tutors, private tutors, or did you go to school?
Oh yeah, no, I did all of my schooling at school, public school, and yeah, I never had a tutor or anything. So we would just go on the road, make sure we scheduled everything for the weekends or anything that was in state or like drivable. We would do that like weekend nights or weekday nights.
So that's kind of common with youth in Atlanta. I know it's kind of like a Black Hollywood. Did they treat you special in school? Like, were you like the guy that everybody wanted to get to know? Or were you just like everybody else, just blend in?
So when you first start, I would say yes. Like you want those things, like you kind of want to be looked at as that person. Um I was at that time, this is probably what, like 2011, 2012, 2011. So like it was still like everything was going through iTunes. There was no the streaming platforms yet and things like that. So I was like the first person in the school with like a song on iTunes, and that was like a really big deal. And I was doing concerts in different states and things. So then I would come back and you would have kind of two sides of it, whether it was people being happy for you, thinking it's cool, or people just kind of wanting to hate on you. And also, to their point, I wasn't as good as I am now. So you would also like hear about it. People didn't like what you had to say, didn't like the music. You would definitely hear that as well. So kind of just maneuvering through
Oh,
that, still trying to get through school, have a regular life. I played sports through majority of high school, so just kind of still having a regular
you
life.
really were busy, weren't
Yeah,
you?
yeah.
That's good.
Sports
Well,
had
do
to
you?
go around my after my junior year. I was done with sports and kind of just was like, I'm music full time now.
Okay, that was still about age 16 or something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, do you remember the moment you realized music could be more than just a hobby for you, that it could actually be a career? What,
yeah.
I know you said
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
you did a lot of things in school. You were normal in high school, sports and all of that. But at some point, did you just say, okay, now music is it for me, and that's where I'm going to focus my career, and even though you were still young,
Yeah, I
like the
think
Michael Jackson thing?
Yeah, I think the first time it hit me that like how far like you can keep going and like really take it and that these things are attainable was the first time I performed in an arena. Just kind of
Hmm.
looking out, you see kind of like first like few rows and then it's just lights and then sometimes they would light the whole thing up and you see how many people are really in there. So that was my first time like performing in front of like thousands at once. So like that's what clicked the idea. The moment I made the decision, um, I was supposed to start an upcoming football game, and it was like, there's always like politics and sports and things like that. There was like last minute, they kind of just like said they were gonna go with somebody else, and I was just over it. I was like, okay, like I'm not about to keep like working this hard at something that's like I've already decided is my number two right now. So after
Yes.
that season, I was just done. Just went full time for music.
Okay, that makes sense. Well, tell us what the biggest lesson you learned opening up for artists like Ti, Jeezy, or Migos.
I think making the most of your time and that you are there to win people over in a very short amount of time. So you're coming in, they don't know you, they don't know your music, and just trying to give the best show possible to have them leaving either looking you up or just being like, wow, that guy actually like gave a great show, the music was good. We'll take either of the two. I'm just trying to make as much as the impact as possible. So just trying to make the most of that time and get through to the people.
So, yeah. Well, what in doing so, did were there ever any incidences, positive or negative, that happened that you learned from that experience while performing that you couldn't learn in the studio?
Um, I think it's kind of my biggest thing that I learned for performing was how the music translates to stage performance. Whether it's like certain moments of a song or like how a beat is structured, how the bass sounds and things like that. I think all these different elements give you things that you can play off of, whether it's performing without backing vocals. That's a big thing for me. Being able to give an actual live show rather than just screaming over the track. So I think it's just a lot of
Mhm.
things that you learn just doing it over and over repeatedly, just like anything else.
I like live shows versus singing with the track. Um, do you more often have live shows, or is it a mix of both, or do you have background vocalists and singers?
So no background vocalist at the moment, but dancers, yes, try to like put together an entire show, whether no matter how long I'm up there for. And as far as how I present it, that changes. I always try to do my verses live. I'll have the hook vocals for like backing just for it to sound more full. But I think it also really just depends on the venue, how the speakers sound going into it. Depends on how your show track is going to sound, how we put it together.
So you seem very confident. I'm the type of person it's easy for me to talk in a laptop or a monitor, but put me in front of a crowd and I probably would faint. How, how does performing in front of massive crowds change your mindset compared to smaller, more intimate shows?
Um, I think I might be backwards. I am less nervous with bigger crowds, and if it's like a smaller room, um, it allows me to like get in my head more and feel like, oh, these people are right here staring at me. But I mean, honestly, as
Oh,
soon as the music starts, I'm usually good. I wouldn't even say it's more of a nervousness. It's more of an anxiousness. I'm ready to just like get into it. And then once the music starts, I'm fine.
so um, do you have like a routine before you go on stage? Like sometimes when you go backstage with artists or entertainers, they do have they might huddle and pray, or they might, have little routines that they do in their dressing room. Do you have anything special that you do before you go out to get you warmed up and ready?
Um, for me, it's taking a moment to myself. I'll have like my entire team like leave the room, like not to be rude or anything. I just really just sometimes need to recenter and kind of just have that moment with myself and prepare myself. And then after that, I'm good to go. And I usually do that like right before walking to the stage.
Yeah, that's good. Well, was there ever a moment backstage when you're alone and you realize, like, aha, this is it. I belong here on stage. Have you ever had those aha moments?
Yeah, for sure. I think when you go into like dressing rooms and things like that, and it's really cliche when you like think about it, but the lights around the mirrors and things like that, like all those little things start to add up. So once it's about time to go on the stage, you kind of just sit there and take it all in.
And it feels like home.
Yeah.
So, as a music director, how do you balance creativity and structure? Because you have to know how to do both.
Yeah. I think it's really all about repetition, practicing and knowing, okay, for this amount of time, I'm focused on this part of the process. Following that, we focus on this part of the process, not trying to take it all on at one time, kind of just breaking it up and allowing myself to be very present, very focused on that one thing, and then go to the next.
That's a good answer. That's very good. So, tell us, I was just wondering, this goes back to the question before that when we talked about how you prepare yourself.
Mm.
What's something fans don't realize that goes into preparing an artist for a live performance? Like, I'm sure there's routines that not specifically you alone, but what
Mm.
fans do, I mean, not excuse me, what artists do to prepare themselves for live performances. Like some people might drink hot tea, I guess, or
Mm.
I don't know, la 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 in the
Um,
room or whatever. Is there something routinely that entertainers do?
Usually I'll do hot tea the morning of, but going into it, I don't. It's probably not a great thing. Like I'll find ways around it and substitute it, but I don't eat much the day of a performance because like I think I did it a few times and you just like kind of feel heavy. or like I feel tired, something like that. So, and then as soon as I get off stage, I'm starving. But it's probably not the best thing, like I said. But I really just don't eat much the day of a big performance.
Okay. Because, I have heard some people, say that they don't eat or they just drink hot fluids,
Mm,
or something like that. I guess to clear the throat.
yeah.
How has your producer brain influenced how you write or perform as a rapper?
I always let the music speak to me. So I think for everybody has their own process when it comes to writing and things like that. But once I
Hmm.
really really became a student and really just really dissected music that I'm a fan of, and then understanding the producing side of it, I understood I'm not going to be just writing ideas down without the music that it's tailored to. Um, that may change later, but I always write to that piece of production. And then like whether I'm like I later down the road I come back to that idea, that song idea, those lyrics, and I think they fit better on a different beat, that's fine. Happens all the time. Like artists will tell you that happens all the time. But I'm very intentional about letting the music speak to me and kind of just tell me what to do rather than just writing all day and then trying to find a place for it.
So, when I read your bio, you mentioned that you don't rap like you're from the streets.
Mhm.
You rap based on your lifestyle, how you live and your journey and stuff like that. Are there ever situations where things happen that influence your songs? Like you might experience something and you write about it later.
Yeah.
Does that ever happen?
It could happen any day, every day. Whether it's just talking to friends. I say it all the time. Women are like the greatest inspiration for music. So relationships,
Hmm.
things like that. I'm always looking to pull from life experiences, whether it's a trip or the good, the bad, just kind of using it all and letting it go through me.
Okay, that's very good. Well, I haven't heard a lot of your music, just some
Mhm.
of it. I did a deep dive into, what I could on YouTube and stuff like that. Do you ever, um, do you, how do I want to say this, make music based on just living happy, just being happy, not
Mhm.
necessarily with a relationship, but just life is good and fulfilling and that kind of thing.
Mhm.
Does your mind ever go there when
Yeah,
you're
for
writing music?
sure. Like I said, everything just kind of depends on the day or what's going on or what I'm thinking about, what I want to pull from. But it
Mhm.
starts with the production. So, very happy production, you're gonna get a very happy song. There are a few off the top of my head that are that way. Some about relationships, some not. But yeah, I definitely try to always make sure I'm making something that could be for everyone.
So, writing lyrics is kind of like writing poetry,
Mhm.
kind of. And I have written two unpublished books of poetry, and I have cousins that have written poetry, and I have cousins that's in entertainment.
Mhm.
And a lot of like when I write, I go back and look at some of the what I've written, and I could tell I was either happy or sad at the time. So
Yeah.
what I'm basically saying is my poetry kind of came from how I was at the moment of
Mhm.
writing the poetry. Does that make sense? So
Yeah.
I was just wondering, is that kind of how it is when you write music? Yeah.
Oh, for sure. Definitely always pulling from emotion, whether it's something simple, it's something
Hmm.
happy, sad. Um, Even then, like I'll if I'm writing about something sad, it could be from the perspective of like I'm so happy I got through that and learned from it.
Yeah.
So not everything is always like just because it's like a sad thing that I'm talking about doesn't mean like for me hearing it or necessarily the way I'm writing it for the listener, it's gonna come off as like depressing or anything like that. So yeah, just letting the emotion go through me, listening to the music.
And, and sometimes just writing it is cathartic too, you know, just
Yeah, for sure.
making a song out of it.
Me and my team
Hmm.
will listen to a lot of the music I made, and some songs are like, yeah, like I could tell, like I needed to get that out, regardless of
Yeah,
if the world hears it or not. Like I needed to get that out.
I agree. So, what made you transition into TV production, and how different is that from the world of music?
We started in television from my series for Who is Jacques Johnson, and because we just started documenting my journey through the music industry and kind of just being independent and trying to figure it all out. And got picked up by a network with Peachtree TV. And it, as going through the process, it was like, oh, there's all these different little things that you have to think about, worry about. You can't use other people's music without permission in the episodes and things like that. So I was like, okay, we'll use all of my music, even background music. I make the beats for the background music for my show as well and for other shows. So just learning as we went on has been the biggest thing for us.
Oh, well, that's wonderful. Listen, you say you do write music and play, or do you write music itself, or just the lyrics? I didn't get clear on that.
Oh, okay, so not in like the
The
classical
beats, do
sense.
you write the music like you
Yeah,
said?
I make beats as well. I'm
Yeah.
just haven't, like I said, I haven't put my 10,000 hours into that. I really didn't start until 2020. Was when I first started making beats, and then I produced a song for myself and ended up being the quality time song that did really well. So, like I said, I do produce. I have had proven that I can do it well, but I just that's not my expertise, I would
Hmm.
say right now. Not yet.
Not yet. I was getting ready
Yeah.
to say not yet. I'm glad you said that. Do you feel like TV has changed how artists need to think about branding themselves today? Or, you know?
For sure. That's why we use the term actuality TV rather than reality TV, because a lot of what we consider to be reality TV is scripted, or they just want you to act a fool and do certain things, and that's kind of just not on brand for me. So we making sure that we're being as authentic as possible at all times. So I'm very conscious about how I portray myself and the brand.
I was looking at the one with the ladies. What is that called again?
Celebrity Mama
Celebrity.
Second.
Is that the one that's celebrity?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Are they celebrities? Are they? And they
Yes,
just, it's kind of like
some of them celebrities in
uh,
their own right or about to be, but they are mothers of celebrities.
okay. Okay. Because one of them looked familiar, so I didn't know.
Hmm.
Um, so what skills from the music industry helped you survive in the television industry? And which ones didn't? So which ones did and which ones didn't?
Mm. I would say some of the
Or
biggest
are there?
lessons, taking every meeting has been a good thing that I've learned. You just never know who knows who or how people can help. And something that didn't help or doesn't translate. I think business is business in a way, but I think I will say for music, a big part of music comes from collaboration. And in some instances in television, you don't need to or should not. You should kind of just control and do your own thing and push it out that way. So just kind of knowing, being aware of people, their intentions, and how they're operating within what you have going on.
Okay, cool. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Being aware of intentions and how other people operate. That's what
Mhm.
I heard you say, right?
Yes, ma'am.
That's very good. Yep. So, you know how sometimes you have, now, I don't know if this question you can answer because I don't, it sounds like you can because you've been doing it since a baby,
Yeah.
entertaining. Um, but it's probably a question more geared towards an older person, but someone that has been in entertainment a long time, like you probably can. But what separates artists who have longevity, who last, um, from those who burn out quickly and are like a flash in the pan, or they're around a
Mhm.
couple of years? They might even be very good, but then they
Mhm.
just disappear.
Um, I think the biggest thing is to never stop being a student. I never like walk in the room thinking I know the most, and I'm always looking to learn more, try more things, experiment. So I just think always just being a student, being a fan, actually loving the craft and what you do are like my biggest things for
So that
why
answer right
people
there, I love that answer because you know what? I love that answer. Always being a student, because I always say the day that I stop learning is probably the day that I die. Because
yeah,
as long as you are 6 feet above the ground, you will always learn, and you can even learn from someone younger if you're
yeah,
older, and
for
vice
sure.
versa, of course, because with age comes wisdom. But
Mhm.
young people can teach us things too. So yeah, that's a great
I have
answer.
a younger brother. Like we're 8 years apart, but he's of a different generation just by
Mhm.
like the way it's classified, and he keeps me, kind of in the loop, but not also, giving me a different perspective. And it's my brother, like he's like my best friend, so I'm able to like really like hear him out and take in his ideas and how he sees things, how he takes them in and processes things. So he's been like a great help as well.
Did you say he's younger?
Yeah, my brother is 8 years younger than me.
Is he Gen Z?
Yeah,
I'm telling you,
yeah, yeah,
they can teach us some things. I'm always going to my granddaughter, like, "Hey, come over here.
yeah.
Tell me what this is, and give me your perspective of this." They have a whole different perspective than they're going to be a generation of entrepreneurs. They don't believe in working for other people,
Nope.
and
It's a great
yeah,
thing.
it is. Okay, so looking back, what business move are you most proud of having made? And what would you do differently if you had to do anything differently?
Most proud of, I think, I don't I don't want to be wrong, but I think at the time when we first started the television series, I'm pretty sure I was the youngest television executive producer in the world at that time. I
Wow,
believe
that's awesome.
like it changed to someone. I think they were like a year younger. I was like 16 at the time. So that was something I was like really proud of, and also just with being independent, having different um, companies and endorsements and things like that. That's really hard to come by when you don't have a huge label with a name behind you. So I'm really proud of those things. Anything I would change?
If
I,
anything, you maybe there's nothing you would change, but
only no. honestly. Like it sounds probably annoying, but like I can't really think of anything I would just change. I don't think I've done anything wrong. I
Okay.
think I've been like on my path and figuring it out and how it's gonna work for me and what's gonna be best for me. So I'm kind of just I'm good with how things have gone and where we're going. So
And I asked that question because I can reflect back on things in my past that I would do differently.
mm,
And so I didn't know if there was anything in your career that, that's why I said if. I mean, maybe 10 years from now, there might be some ifs. You know what I'm saying? Or in your career, 20 years from now, maybe so. But there are things when I look back, I'm like, man, if I could do that differently, and I've said that more than once, I would do X, Y, and Z. And that comes, I think, with just life
mm,
discernment and wisdom and making mistakes. Because I don't think that if you go through life and never make a mistake, you're not going to learn much. You're going to make some mistakes to learn from them. You know, they may not be drastic mistakes, but I just believe we learn from things like that. And those are
you
the
saying that
moments
I
where we
have
go,
one
man,
now.
if I
I have one now.
okay.
I would say my biggest thing that I learned from and wish I had done earlier was learning how to record myself. That took away so much just like pressure and alleviating like you're not on somebody's clock in the studio. Um you can just like get those ideas out. You can be free to mess up. And you can be there whenever you want as long as you want. So I think yeah, that was the only thing. I feel like if I had learned to record myself earlier in my career, that would have helped a lot. But we're here now, so
Okay, yep, that's true. So you're on an independent label, your own
mm,
label.
yeah,
So that means ownership is important to you. How important is ownership to you, especially in today's uh, music climate?
yeah. We're in the space where um, the labels operate in a way that um, kind of like a banking system, honestly, but they want to come in when it's hot and you've already proven yourself and you already have something going for yourself and they want to cut. Um, every situation looks different for every artist. Whatever makes sense for you may not make sense for the next person. But I'm really big on ownership and making sure we have something to show for our next generation that comes behind us. Um,
It's
Yeah,
very
making sure
good.
we're putting the people that we want in position to also win, and being able to make
That's very
certain
good.
decisions.
That's really, really. It's not all about you. Then you're
Yeah,
looking out for other people,
for
sitting back
sure.
and paying for it. That's good. So you know what? Um, Everybody has in their life that has been harder than
Mm.
others. What's the hardest season you've had in this business that nobody saw, that we, the people out here, couldn't see?
Mm. I I think
I
having
think I
to
know the answer to that.
maybe turn down a deal once or twice. That's really hard to do. Hard to say no. Especially when you see dollar signs. And knowing where you want to take everything.
Well, yeah,
I think that's probably up there.
okay. And I was about to also say the season of not being able to record yourself, because
Yeah,
that kind of
that'll
is
do
what I
it.
thought during that time. hmm Um, you're very successful. Did success change your relationships with people, or did they also, or like Anne, did they also reveal who was really in your corner and who wasn't, because we all go through times in our lives when we think people are in our corners, and then something happens and we realize that they really weren't.
For sure. There's
Did it
yeah.
change
I kind of
relationships?
became a little bit more conscious about who you consider to be real friends and things like that. Um, but I think it's easier for people to root for people that they don't know personally. It's just kind of like, unfortunately, the way a lot of humans are wired. So we got to go into this thing knowing that your best friend, your family member may not be your target audience, and that's okay. But like, same side of it, sometimes like support doesn't cost. Like if you really care about that person and what they're trying to do, you care about their aspirations. There are a lot of different ways that people can support if they wanted to. So just being realistic about it, and also being able to have those conversations if those people mean enough to you. So it's kind of getting it all out.
That's a very mature answer.
Thank you.
Very mature answer.
I'm
Hmm.
also
So
a
you
learner.
seem very
Like
grounded.
I have my way of thinking and my way of doing things, and um, sometimes that clashes with other people. Sometimes it's great, and other people don't see it that way. So
Right. And that's okay if they don't.
yeah,
They just have to agree to disagree.
yeah.
And I was about to say, you seem very grounded. How do you stay grounded when this industry is so built on ego and image?
Mm. Um, I just never really been that. I think I see things differently when it comes to the industry because I know who I am at home. I know who I am with my friends, my family. Um, Whenever I'm hearing my first and last name being said, I know we're talking about the artist. Um, at home around my friends and stuff, like it's either just Jock or my family calls me JT. Like that's me. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's being able to separate the two, even when my name is also my stage name. Just making sure you can mentally separate
Mhm.
the two, and be conscious of who you are at the core. That way you don't get lost in it later.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense, young man. So listen, what's the biggest mistake new artists are making right now? The new artists.
I think we're all being like force fed and kind of being told you have to get with the whole social media thing. Yes, but I think the problem that we're coming into now for a lot of artists that are trying to like break through the noise is they are just copying what's working or has worked for other people rather than seeing what's working and then finding their own lane to where it's something fresh and very authentic to them to where they don't feel like they're forcing it, because as soon as you start forcing it, other people can see right through it immediately. So
Yeah,
I feel like just being able to have the discernment and kind of pick and choose what things to pull from and what works for you.
absolutely. Um, why do you think the social media is a big thing? And let me just say, my show used to be on TV. It
Mhm.
was on the DuPont TV network I
Mhm.
think it's out of Atlanta. Um, and they just every day, social media, wanted you to be on every platform and just, you know, that's all they wanted you to do, put it out there all day, every day. It got exhausting to me.
Mhm.
I'm like, oh my God, because there's a lot of different platforms, but I never really understood why I needed to be out there like that, on social media. Why do you think that is?
That's the marketing. That's where advertisements live now. That's where most people are giving their attention. We're not necessarily glued to TVs anymore. And if you are, you're streaming something rather than watching actual programming. So, um, being able to be on those platforms, it's a
Yeah.
blessing. But to the point of wearing different hats, like you think about any like top company or business, like outside of music or anything like that, like a chip company, there are a staff of people that are just dedicated to social media. So you're wearing that hat for your own platform or business that you're trying to run. So it's just an added thing that we all have to do if we're trying to advertise and get seen.
So the next time I need a social media manager, right?
Yeah, that
Next time, get
happens.
somebody else to do it for me, basically.
Yeah.
So, Jocks, if you could start over in 2026,
Mm.
what would you focus on first? Music, content, or connections?
Connections. My biggest thing for this year is like obviously more stuff for the business side, but I kind of just want to be outside more, and be more organic with everything as far as meeting new people, getting myself into different spaces that I wouldn't normally just find myself in. Um, so I think it starts with
Mm-hmm.
that, and then very intentional, trying to release more and more music every year.
Awesome, awesome. That's very good. So let me ask you this. What's one piece of advice you wish someone had given you before your first big opportunity?
You never really know. Like you could feel like in your heart of hearts that you know, like, oh, this is a great song. This is gonna do this and this and this for me. Um, you never really know. I think it's up to the people. Like you can love it as much as you want. I don't base how I feel off of my art, how other people feel about it, or how it's being accepted immediately. Like I'm not looking for the instant gratification, things like that. But to the point of trying to cut through the noise, I think it's just very big to put it out, keep putting the reps up, keep working, and just kind of keep sharing it, whether it's social media and just releasing. Just keep going, keep putting the different shots up and see what takes, and then follow those analytics and keep going.
Just stay on the grind.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to come to the end, and I want to do some rapid fire fun questions. Do you know what that is?
Yep.
Like when I'll say, okay, so let's do some rapid fire. Studio or stage?
Stage.
Independent grind or major machine?
Major machine.
Best city to perform in?
LA.
Okay, one artist who pushed you to elevate your craft?
Prince and Kendrick Lamar.
All right. And legacy over clout, yes or no?
Yes. Legacy over club.
Okay, good. So when it's all said and done, how do you want your impact to be remembered beyond the music?
Um, Impact beyond the music. Just that I've always been myself 100%. That's all I can do. That's all I know how to do. I feel like, everybody says it and you kind of just like shrug it off, but like you're like the only version of you. So be the best you that you can be. Nobody else can do that. But yeah, just making sure that people
So
know.
beyond your music, basically to say he was a good guy, down to earth,
Mm,
and introvert who loves people to help people, reaches back, pay it forward, that kind of thing,
Yeah,
besides the
I'm just
music?
I'm never faking it. You know what I mean?
Right, right. Okay, well, sit tight. I want to thank you so much. I feel privileged to have had the opportunity to do this interview with you, being that I know there's a lot of people out there that
Mhm.
want to do it. So I thank you for allowing me to be one of those to do it.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, stick by. All right, family, before we sign off, make some of the noise for Jacques Johnson. The bars, the honesty, the journey, the hip hop, the purest form is what he's bringing to you. You didn't just hear an artist today, you heard a vision, a grind, and a whole lot of heart behind it. If you felt inspired, if you felt you caught a gem from him, which I did, even though, you know, I'm his senior. He said a lot of gems. If something is said, if something is said, lit a fire up under you, then tune in to Jacques Johnson's music, and you can find him on the little scroll bar down there. Everything is going below to tell you how to reach out to him. Remember his greatness. Um, remember his style, his class, and all that he has to offer everyone. He is a star in his own right, and even so, a rising star that's going to go even further. Now, listen, don't go anywhere. Don't go too far away. We're just getting started around here. Next week, I want you to tune in again to At Home with Goldnbronze. I do thank you again for sitting with me in my living room, listening to me talk to Mr. Jacques Johnson. Music is a passion for me as well. I come from a musical family, and I appreciate everybody tuning in today. And I would love to do a follow up with you sometime. I don't know when, but maybe we'll get around to doing that. But in the meantime,